Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. You know, there's a lot of cool places in the state of Kansas. One of those is Wilson Lake. And our guest today just started out, took over as owners of the Wilson Marina. It's Mike and Paige Kraus. And Mike and Paige, good to have you with us today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Yes.
You guys have, and I want to talk about Wilson Lake first, but then I want to talk about how you get there. Tell us how the summer has been at Wilson Lake. We've made it all through COVID. We've done this. It's sort of the first kind of summer without some of the COVID things we've had to deal with. How was the summer out at the lake?
It was great. And some people wondered about what the traffic would be like this summer because travel was opened back up and people were able to go wherever they wanted. We didn't know what that would look like for us, but it ended up being very busy and a great summer for us to start off on.
Probably, it exceeded our expectations this summer as far as foot traffic. It was much busier than anticipated.
You know, one of the things I think made a difference, and you guys have made changes. You're brand new as owners of the Wilson Marina. Talk about, what does the marina do there first? Overall, what do you do at the marina? What's your job like there?
I would have to say our main thing is to provide the services to our customers and to those that are visiting the park, for the week or weekend or whatever, and provide that top-notch service and help make their weekend and their experience just everything we can be. I mean, it's their vacation.
So if you come there and you have it, whether a camper or a boat, you have what I call a grocery store, plus grocery store plus everything else.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving facets to it, as far as not just you have your grocery store and there's lake customers and campers. You have your slip, your rentals. We brought back pontoon rentals. So there's people that just come in for the day and rent a pontoon. We have the technician on site. So there's a whole area of boat repair and mechanic work. There's the storage units, there's outdoor storage. There's a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle.
Well, we could talk about some of those. I know one of that we get to talk about, I spend time out at the lake, but having ice. I mean, just a simple thing of having ice for all the campers, that's turned into a bigger project than maybe we all thought.
Oh, it's a monster. We make 2,000 pounds of ice here every day to keep up with the demand. And we do that on site because with the COVID, it got hard to get stuff, products, shipping, that kind of stuff. And so we more than double the capacity of and make it here ourselves, which it's an added job, but we know we have products so we can keep everybody in ice over the weekend.
Well, let's talk about how you guys got to Wilson Lake and running the marina. That's not your first career, because you guys are in farming and ranching in the Garden City area. Tell us about that. And then you're thinking, what brought you to Wilson Lake?
Oh gosh, where to start?
Who's going to start there? Because I know you have a big cattle operation down in the Garden City area.
Yes.
Yeah, we ranch in Western Kansas, and Paige and I have always had the love of the lake together and gone to a lot of different lakes, but Wilson was always our favorite. And I think 12, 14 years ago, we had a chance to buy some ground right up here by the lake and start bringing cows up here for the summer, which was an awesome excuse to come check cows and then go water ski and hang out and enjoy the lake. And so that has grown, and kind of during that time, we got to meet the old owners, developed a great relationship with them. And it just kind of walked in one day and they just said, "Hey, we'd like to retire and we think you guys would be a great fit." And honestly, it was really that simple.
Well, I've heard that you've always wanted to run a marina, Mike. That may not have been Paige's dream job, but you've always wanted to run a marina.
Yes, I've always loved the water. And I think, especially because where we're from, we don't have a lot of water out there. So we have this deep appreciation for water and what it can do, and the whether it's for irrigation or for cattle or people, recreation. So I have this deep appreciation of it. And there's been several times over my life that I've always wanted to get to the ocean and that maybe not be a cowboy, and it never quite worked. So when this opportunity came up, we decided, hey, this might just be our ocean right smack dab in the middle of the United States. And what a perfect ocean it is. It's one of the best.
It is a beautiful lake, and you guys met initially kind of around, I'll say, a boat and boating and that sort of thing. How does that story go? And maybe Paige should tell. Maybe there's two different stories. I don't know.
Well, when we were dating in Manhattan, there was a boat that came up for sale. It used to be the ski team's boat, and it was an older boat. And he asked if we wanted to split it and pitch in, and so we bought a boat and went out on Tuttle and took it to Milford and we drug it all over the state, and just loved. I mean, it was the most fun money that we'd ever spent, and it wasn't much money at all.
No, it was cheap.
But
and you still have that boat, right?
We still have it.
Yes.
It's getting revived.
Yeah, we're gonna let the boys take over running that boat for now. And yeah, it's just been a fun adventure. And I always told Mike, whatever he wanted to do, I would come alongside of him, and I could find a job wherever we were. And this, I felt like God had equipped both of us for all the things that we're doing now. Along the way, we learned little aspects of running a store and marketing. My background's in marketing and doing events, and even as silly as food trucks are, I've worked with food trucks before. And so we felt like we had a lot in our bag to be able to bring it to the marina.
Well, I know what was, I'll say, kind of maybe an average marina. You could buy gas and supplies. You've turned it into, you said events. That's a good word. On weekends, a lot of events. I don't know how many different food trucks you have, but I would think I had 6 or 7 that I noticed that were different food trucks, from hot dogs to Mexican to barbecue, and then music to go along with it. So you had a lot of fun things happening at the lake.
It was a lot of fun. And we want to expand on that. There's a lot of things we want to do, but we wanted to be able to do it well. So we didn't try to do too much this year. We just kind of tailored it back, and hopefully that'll be able to grow over the years. We can do even more events and fun new things on the horizon.
You've done this with the family involved. You have 2 boys that you talk about. You guys work together. I grew up on a family farm and turned it into an employee ownership model here at our company. But that employee ownership comes from the family farm, and everybody working together to produce results, whether it be grain, crops, animals, etc. You've taken that and moved that to the marina operation, where to be successful, the boys pitch in, and you have a couple great boys, but they're right in the middle of the whole thing.
Yeah, they have, I would say, just like what you stated, they have brought that work ethic and that team player to the marina. And, at the ranch, they go out and they'll check hundreds and hundreds of cattle by themselves. They've done it since they were little, so they know the business. And so they're confident, they know what they're looking at. And so they were able to bring that up here and dive right in and do the same thing here at the marina. And they're young men, and they're all in.
I know they run all the equipment. I see them on 4-wheelers. I see them on boats. I saw your youngest out driving a pontoon, parking it in the slip the other end. It looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. So it's really encouraging to see that type of family operation be successful. And when in the marina business, much like agriculture, you have weather events. I know one of them was some of the strong winds that we've had. That had to be one of those things. I'm not sure. I've never worked on that, but have you guys ever worked on docks and slips when they blew across the?
Not docks.
No.
We're accustomed to, again, back to the ranch. We deal with Mother Nature. It's the one thing you can't control. And so we've had blizzards, we've had fires, we've had all those things, and you adapt and you overcome so you can survive. And so when we walked out and the docks were a mess, we sat for a second, you take a deep breath, and you go to work.
And it was amazing. We were overwhelmed with the support of some of our local patrons that just pitched in. They showed up, they brought food. We had neighbors that brought food to feed the crew. We had people that just came and didn't leave until the job was done. It was really a powerful statement, and we felt so supported and loved. It was amazing.
Yeah, and I think that showed how much they love and care for this lake and their experiences in their life here at this lake and with the marina, and that showed that the depth of their experiences and how it's obviously had an impact on their life, and probably mostly positive. And so to see that really brought us all like, hey, we're all on a new team here. So it was super cool.
I think you said that well, because there's a great community out there, and to see the improvements, everybody jumped on board and said, hey, we like the improvements. And when people come in from other places, they say, well, this is cool. It didn't happen without a lot of work from you guys and others that have helped make that happen. What's been the most fun? I mean, this is your first year running a marina, first year being right in the middle of, I mean, it's really a 24/7 kind of deal, but what's been the most fun?
I would say in my past careers, I've always had to work in an office somewhere away from my family. And I have absolutely loved working with my family and Mike and the boys, and I love to see how the boys can problem solve, and how they can start to learn things that I didn't even know they knew how to do, like drive the forklift and move, skid steer and move all these things. I don't know. That was my favorite part and the most fun.
I think mine was all the people that we've got to meet, from the locals to the traveling people that are through, and then the group that I would say the people that are your slip renters, and that are here pretty much all the time, and getting to know and have these new friendships and relationships that you would never have got to do before, and they'll be lifelong friends. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things. It's super cool.
When you take a look at this summer, is there a way to keep track of how many people came through the lake? Is there a number that you guys hear?
Would the state might have a count?
I think the state would probably have a pretty good count. I know they had the counter out on the blacktop for the holiday weekend on the 4th, and I know they told me there was just under 7,000 people there on the holiday. So that's a big number for this lake. That's huge, and that would be campers and all, but a lot of those people made a stop here, and people that never knew that this place was here before.
Well, that's what you notice. And you talk about Wilson Lake to people and how cool it is. And then you say it's only 7 miles off interstate, and yet there's hundreds of thousands of people drive by, don't even know that there's such a beautiful lake up here, whether it be for you just hanging out and having a picnic, walking on the trails that are around there that are amazing, or actually taking advantage of some of the things you do at the marina with either boating and jet skis and those sort of things that are fun to do. Now, is it hard to rent a pontoon? Can anybody just come out? Do you have to have a pontoon license?
We make it real easy. Yeah, they can just get online, and we have the 4 different pontoons listed, and they can pick the one they want. They come to the store and sign paperwork that morning, and then they just walk down to the gas dock and get right on. So I think that's what makes it so nice for the customers, is they don't have to back a boat, they don't have to pull a boat, they don't have to insure it, store it, anything. They just come out and jump on
a little
ours.
bit of I think it helps with marriages too.
So true.
I've heard that backing a boat can really put some interesting stress.
It'll
on
ruin you.
It can get you.
It can ruin you.
It can get you. We've even had some people stop in and say, would you mind coming over and putting our boat in for us so you save our marriage? And we laugh and say, absolutely, we're in.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge for you two working together?
Really, I think we both kind of ended up going like Paige has kind of taken over the role of the upstairs and what's going on at the main store and the shop, and I kind of ended up not intentionally but being more down on the docks and doing that kind of thing. And so we both kind of have our worlds, and probably figuring out where that little boundary is so I don't overstep or she oversteps a little bit. But we've kind of figured that little bumper out so she knows when to defer to me or vice versa. And I think that's probably been our biggest challenge, because we're pretty familiar with working with each other, back at the ranch. Paige always did the books and would help move cows and different things. And so we have a pretty good relationship, but I think we work well enough together, long enough. We know when to say when. I know when to walk away and when to run.
And the beauty of working together is if one of us is tired or frustrated or something, the other one can step in and take over. We know each other well enough that, hey, that's going to start to push buttons. And so we step in and take over, but it's been good. I think it's been a really cool experience and fun, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been neat.
Well, I love your story and the success you've created there with the marina. I want to come back. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk just a little bit about how you find out what goes on at Wilson Lake. I know you're working on some marketing page and maybe some of the plans you have for next year. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Forward Ever in just a minute.
The most successful investors are those that can keep their emotions in check and take a longer-term view at what portfolios will be worth 3 to 5 years down the road. I'd say that's the most important in determining what investor outcomes are. Market corrections will continue in the future. We've seen many of them over the years, only to see equity prices rise higher, and that'll be the case in the future.
Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Back again here at Forward Ever with our guests, Mike and Paige Kraus. They run the Wilson Lake Marina. New owners there this year, brought in a whole bunch of new things. Paige, Mike, what do you have in store for us this next year?
Well, we have a lot. We're going to take the fall and winter and kind of reflect and plan and see what we can do for next year. One thing we've tried to do is increase awareness, and we've started a website, and we have Facebook and Instagram, so people can always go there and find out what's happening. We've done radio advertising this year. We've done print media. We have sponsored events. We were part, as you can see in the background, the Lovegrass Festival is a bluegrass festival, and we sponsored them. We sponsored walleye tournaments. We really want to be a part of the community, and we were involved in Check Fest, all kinds of stuff. So we're trying to, be that community partner that this area deserves. And with that comes all kinds of potential for fun, new and exciting things.
You don't think about just the terrain out there. Most people look at Western Kansas as being flat like a board. You get out there and there's so many beautiful hills, ups and down the scenery. You look across the lake and you just see the neat area that Kansas brings. So appreciate you sharing that and making that happen. As you do that, what is your website that you can go to? And then I know you link up, you go to Wilson Lake on Facebook and get things there. But what's your website?
Ours is easy. It's just boatlakewilson.com. And we did that because we fix boats, we rent boats, we're the only marina at the lake. And so we chose Boat Lake Wilson for all of your boating needs.
Well, and snacks and ice. The most important thing at the lake on a hot day is ice. Mike, exactly. Paige, thank you for joining me today on Forward Ever. You make what Kansas is all about, taking family, working hard, doing great things, and making the world a better place. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Gary.
Our guests have been the new owners of the Wilson Lake Marina, Mike and Paige Kraus. Thanks for joining us here on Forward Ever, brought to you by Worth Wealth Management, where you can live with confidence. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.